Hi guys, what's up? I'm Mary Richardson, Rapid Transformational Therapy Practitioner. What does that mean? It means I help people get unstuck. I help you move past that strong anxiety that you've been plagued with for so long to finally have healing and get to the root cause, the core of your anxiety so you can move forward. All right, so in this video, I want to talk about and answer the question how having a narcissistic parent can affect kids. Well, in this video, how if you've had a narcissistic parent, you understand the effect it had on you, but maybe you have divorced a narcissist and now you're co-parenting and you want to know how the narcissist is affecting your children. Here's the thing with kids, they survive by bonding with the parent, right? So as a child of a narcissist, you, and I know firsthand how this is, you want to bond with that parent so you actually become like that parent. The way they talk, how they disparage people, how they're condescending. It seems like, well, your survival in that household depends on you having that bond with the parent. So children, especially, we don't know any different as a child. We don't know that that's not a great way to be, condescending and patronizing and tearing people down behind their backs and being, that narcissistic rage, making the whole household feel like they have to walk on eggshells around the narcissist. The child doesn't know that that's not really normal, that that's not ideal. They just know that there are certain parameters that they have to try to function within. So the walking on eggshells feels like normal. And parroting the parent, the way the narcissist talks, the way they act, the lies that they tell, and soon children can be really confused because they'll see the narcissistic parent sort of making up, twisting reality, essentially lying. All right, let's get real about what happened in a situation. And the child will try that in a different situation of their own. And the narcissistic parent might really jump all over that child, like, you can't lie, don't, that's not what happened, or because that's how narcissists are. They're the first ones to point out what all the rest of us are doing wrong, right? They're the first ones to be self-righteous and to say, well, you shouldn't do that. Really? Because you do that all the time, narcissist, right? It's okay for you, but it's not okay for the rest of the world. Yeah. So the child can become really, really confused, where there's a set of rules for the narcissist and a set of rules for everyone else. What happens also in that family dynamic is the partner to the narcissist, the spouse, also may feel like they have to walk on eggshells, even though they're an adult and their partner is a narcissist. They might feel like, well, I have to agree with the narcissist because that's my survival, right? So they might come down hard on the kids too, right? What happens though as a partner of a narcissist, the reason why they don't leave is because, I gotta be frank, it's usually because they gave up their power to the narcissist, meaning they somehow crash their money, crash their income, or they don't have income. So, which of course a narcissist loves. A narcissist loves to keep you down. A narcissist loves you to not achieve your goals, to not work towards earning any money. They'll blame you for it and they'll love it at the same time, right? They'll blame you for it because they'll bring up a million times over how you're not equal to them, how you're not contributing like they are. In other words, they don't see all the other work that you do. Maybe you're a full-time mom or dad taking care of the kids. They won't give you any credit for that. But at the same time, if you do take steps to get that job, they will come down harder on you because they see you as having regained your power and not letting them control you or your life or your money. And they use it either way against you. But the worst thing you can do is crash your money and not have any income. Because how can you get away from the narcissist when you want to leave that relationship if you don't have the resources, right? It means you have to go live with family, or how do you hire a lawyer without resources, right? Yes, I'm sure there can be ways around it. Family can help. Um, you know, there's other resources. I'm not a lawyer, so my point is, to survive in life, you have to have your own income. So, anyone watching this, you probably already know that. And the question I'm really trying to answer now is, how does a narcissistic parent affect the kids? Well, let's say you're already divorced. Thank goodness you're out of that relationship. You're probably so grateful for that. You've healed yourself, or in the process of healing yourself. But now you see your kids acting more and more like the narcissist. I would say, eventually they're going to figure it out just like you did, right? Because they'll see the contradictions where the narcissist can do certain things, but if the kids try to do that exact same thing, like describe their own reality, the narcissist won't like it. And as kids get older, they'll see that, they'll figure it out just like you did. So I would say, I'm not a counselor, I'm a hypnotist, and having lived through that situation, I would say, be kind and gentle as you always are with your kids, and give them space. But keep modeling, keep being a good person, keep being not a narcissist, keep those family values strong, because when you have great integrity, this is just common sense, a reasonable person knows this. Keep being your best self, the best version of yourself, because kids will figure out who loves them and who's using them, right? When you're used as a kid, you know it. You know it doesn't sit right. You know it doesn't seem fair. They're not being corrected because someone loves them. The narcissist is always just trying to use them and everyone around them. And I promise you, as a child from a narcissistic family, you'll see how the narcissist is one way in public, but a different way at home, behind closed doors, right? As the kids grow up and become adults, if they try to start acting like that narcissist with their own friends, they'll learn very, very quickly. People will tell them, look, that's really not a kind thing to do. You can't manipulate people, or they'll find that they have trouble making friends because good friends won't put up with that, right? So they'll learn, look, they'll figure out that the reason they modeled it is because the narcissist was their parent and they were stuck in that house. And then they'll realize and make a choice that they don't want to be like that parent, because they enjoy having great relationships, great friends. And there's certain things that you have to, not do in a good friendship. And they'll untangle it. And they'll see the parent who's being consistent and being, having great values. They'll see that. So I guess my best advice, like any of us, is most of us don't gravitate toward negative people. We gravitate towards positive people, to people who are striving to be the best version of themselves, trying to improve, learn, grow, stretch, reach their goals, and are supportive. The parent that is supportive of their kids and not using them. Kids know when they feel loved, right? They know when there's that unconditional love, right? And then they'll see the opposite, and they'll see the contrast. They probably already do, they just don't know the skills of how to untangle it or what to do in the situation with the narcissist. They probably have great coping skills. Most of us do. You develop it over time, knowing what the rules are. Oh, the rules are I have to keep the narcissist happy at all costs. and they'll learn very quickly, look, not everybody has to do that. That's not a great parent. Um, they'll figure it out just like you did. So I hope this finds you well. I'll see you in the next video. And, kids suffer from anxiety just like adults do. Um, I don't personally treat kids, but my point is I was a kid. And I did have, a lot of stuff going on in the family, and I can relate to having to deal with narcissists. So I hope this finds you well, and be kind, be the best version of yourself, and know that there's loads of us people out there who have moved past that narcissistic relationship and are healing and helping others as well. And so can you. Take care. Bye for now.